Octagon with LowKick MMA manager Sean Woodson is coming off a win at UFC Nashville. Sean, how are you?
Good, man. That sounds great. Coming off a
Absolutely,
win. Love it.
dude. Absolutely, dude. It's been 5 days since your fight, man. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great, man. A little banged up, but that just comes with it as always. But yeah, outside of that, man, I'm feeling great. Glad to finally be back in there after like a 10-month layoff.
How's the body feeling?
Good. I got a little. My foot was a little swollen, a little sore from I kicked his elbow a couple times. But outside of that, I'm solid, man. I don't have anything. Nothing major at all.
First,
Little black eye, little raccoon eyes going on, but I'm straight.
first and foremost, bro, what's it gonna take to keep you fucking more active?
This is Saturday was the start of it. August 5th was the start of it. I will be more active now, 100%. In the past, it's been because, well, I mean, this 10-month layoff, you know, 2 months of it at the very beginning was due to injuries, but the past 8 months, I've been trying to get a fight booked. It was just due to, a lot of guys on the roster, and I guess guys were in front of me in line. They had to tend to. So, I was just patiently waiting and just staying in the gym and steady improving and making sure I was sharp and everything and ready when I got the call. But yeah, immediately right away, right after the fight, me and my manager were at the hotel talking. He said he had talked to the matchmakers, and I'm pretty sure they're going to make it a point to get me more active. And I'm pretty sure we're already in talks of getting something set up for like November, December.
Awesome. Well, that's awesome to hear, man. Firstly, I guess let's talk about the fight for. Actually, no, let's talk about like everything leading up to it, bro. Like you
Okay.
had said, you had so many opponent changes. What was going on through your mind? Like, was there ever a point during this process where you're like, man, like I'm having three opponent changes, like it's too dangerous to take a fight, or was it in your mind like I'm fighting at UFC Nashville no matter what?
Yeah, that was in my mind. So, at first I was slated to fight Steve Garcia, and then about 3 weeks out, he pulled out due to a back injury. Then I had Jesse Butler, and Jesse Butler, he was on he had some confusion with the commission. There was something not right there. So about 2.5 to 3 weeks out, he pulled out, and for a second I thought that so due to his suspension, he just wasn't eligible to fight me August 5th. But his suspension, he would have been able to fight me a few weeks after that. So a part of me had thought that maybe that they would just rebook me and him, just push us back a couple weeks. But once my manager told me no, they're gonna keep me on the card. Yeah, I was just dead set. It didn't matter who it was. I just told him let me know what weight it is, and I'll be ready to go. And then yeah, we had Marion Santos, and then I had about a week and a half to prepare for him. And then fight week, I get there and I get to the hotel, and I'm in the hotel lobby checking into my room, and my manager hits my phone and he's like, Santos is out. And I was just like, damn, it's crazy. And but yeah, they were real good about getting right on it. And then I want to say like 2 hours later, they had Dennis Buzukja for me. But yeah, it was at never any point that was I gonna hit that, oh, this is too dangerous. And I've had guys hit that with me, not too long ago. It was a couple years back, I was scheduled to fight Jared Gordon. He had a fight coming up, and then his guy pulled out on like 2 3 weeks notice, and I offered to step up and fight him, got the contract and everything, and I thought it was a go. But then he pulled that. He was like, stylistic switch up, and no, and he turned it down. And UFC was okay with that, which I was surprised with. But yeah, I never considered doing that. I was gonna fight regardless.
Only having less than a week to research your opponent, what was the game plan going into the fight?
Yeah, so like, the first three guys, I did the best I could to game plan for them, but when it got to it was 4 days out from the fight and they switched opponents, and I'm like, there's no point in like, no detailed game plan was drawn up, but I was already familiar with dude. He was a hot prospect. I stay tapped into this game through and through. I watch guys who are not just in the UFC, but guys who are about to be in my division. I pay attention to them. And yeah, I just pulled up some of his fights and refreshed my memory on them. And yeah, didn't have time to really come up with a detailed game plan. I just roughly, from what I'm watching, had a good idea on how I was going to approach this dude. And the main thing was just to not let all the switch ups, all the last minute stuff throw me off. Like this fight game is, as they say, 90% mental, 10% physical. And I've dealt with this in the past. Back a long time ago, I had the same thing where there was multiple switch ups on fight week, and I let it rattle me. And so yeah, that was the main thing, just to mentally stay focused and not let it throw me off my game, and just stay dialed in and just have my mind along with my body ready to fight.
How did you feel about your how do you feel about your performance in your win?
So I watched it back yesterday, and I'm my worst critic. I'm really hard on myself. Everybody tells me that. Uh, I seen a few spots in the fight where I coulda and shoulda got the finish. So like that's the only thing I'm somewhat upset about is I want to be a finisher. I want to put guys away. And there was a few moments in the fight where I could have got them out of there and I didn't. But considering the circumstances, four different opponents, all the last minute switch ups, and I'm also a guy that's big on preparation. Like that's where I get a lot of my confidence from, is knowing that I've done everything to prepare for these dudes and study them and stuff. So yeah, all circumstances considered, and the quality of opponent, and world class fighter from a world class gym, and the decision, it was dominant. It was a dominant performance. So overall, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it.
Awesome, awesome. That's awesome to hear. Um, Looking forward, man. Like you said, you want to get right back to action November, December. Anybody that you would like to fight? Anyone on top of your head? Like, are there specific matchups you want?
So like that really isn't as important to me as when I'm getting back in there. Like I just really want November, December, no matter who it is, want to get more active. But yeah, I mean, I'm down to rebook any of the three opponents that I was scheduled to face at first. And outside of those three guys, I still, man, I want that Melsick fight. I called him out a little bit ago, and he didn't respond to me, but I just feel like me and him match up really well. We're both exciting strikers, and we're similar in records. We got similar opponents. He fought We both fought Colin Anglin. We both fought Dennis Buzukja. Yeah, I really want that fight. And outside of that, I'd like to fight more than anything, it's the Dayton card. So November 11th, Madison Square Gardens. I'd really like to get on that card with John Jones. And the only guy I can think that they would match me up with is Mike Trizano, maybe. And only reason I say that is because that's his neck of the woods. You know what I'm saying? Like I know they want to get a New Yorker, New Jersey people on that card, and he's one of them. I can't really think of any other featherweights from that area, but yeah, he's the first one that comes to mind. So outside of the three I was already scheduled, either Mike Trizano in Madison Square Garden or Melsick anytime, anywhere.
I love those fights, man. Um, all right, now we're don't know that fight, man. A couple things I want to ask you about. One, do you see all of the comments and posts about your physique, about your long body, long arms? Like, do you see
People
that?
can't get over that shit. Yeah, like they can't get over it, man. It's so funny. Like all the trolls and like the negative people online, it's like that's the only thing they have to talk about. And like I'm pretty sure the majority of them, like if you're talking about me and you're on these comments, you're an MMA fan, you're a fight fan. So it's like they never have anything to say about my fighting or my skills or like anything like that. They always just go at how I'm built. And I mean, it don't bother me none. Like I know I'm built different, both inside and outside. And yeah, I'm unique as they come. I'm the tallest featherweight in the division. Yeah, it's funny as hell. They can't they never let that go.
It's two things you mentioned, Sean, was they say how good your boxing is and that you look like Slender Man. Like let's say that's the two.
I still don't. And then they give me with the. I know who he is now. The longest I didn't know who Mike Wazinski is, or what's his name? What's the dude name?
Mike Wazowski.
It was yeah, I didn't know who that was for the longest, but yeah, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. I give him that. That's a funny one.
That's awesome, dude. Being a boxer, being a boxing fan, why are MMA fighters having such a hard time transitioning over to boxing?
MMA fighters transitioning over to boxing. Because I mean, it's one dimensional. It's only one aspect. It's one thing that these guys focus on for a lifetime. When you put an MMA fighter against a pure boxer, that pure boxer is gonna win every time. To me, it's just they just you know I mean, yeah, it's just simple as that. That boxers only have one thing to work on and perfect, and MMA fighters, we work on a ton of skills. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that's the main thing.
Other than yourself, gun to your head, with your life on the line, if you're supposed to spend, you're going to send one UFC fighter over to box a boxer and win, who would it be?
Dang, let me think. Let me think. Oh man. Uh, dang, dog. I'm trying to think. Man, off the top of my head, I can't even think of nobody, man, right now. Let me think. Let me think. I like Masvidal a lot, but I mean, he's retired, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say Max Holloway. Max Holloway, perhaps. You know, he's got really good boxing. Uh, damn, man, man. Myself, if you give me enough time to sharpen up my boxing, you know what I'm saying? I started off as a pure boxer.
Right.
So give me about 5, 6 months, I give a lot of people some trouble, if especially at 145 in boxing. I give ain't that like Tank Davis, Gervonta, and yeah,
Yeah.
them dudes 4 foot nothing. Yeah, I give them dudes some problems. You give me some time to sharpen up my boxing for sure.
Did you happen to catch Diaz versus Paul?
No, I didn't, but I didn't watch it live, but I seen the highlights, and I'm actually surprised. Like I'm a big Diaz fan. Like both brothers, like early on, those were some of my first favorite guys. But at this point in Nate's career, being almost 40 and going through all the wars that he's gone through, I honestly thought Jake Paul was gonna knock him out. I thought he was gonna stop him, to be honest. I was, I just, Jake Paul is, he's dedicated to boxing. He's a super motivated and hungry kid, a big kid, a young, sharp kid. You know what I'm saying? He's got all that money, and he used his resources wisely, and setting all the Disney stuff aside and all that stuff. Like when I look at him, he has legit boxing skills, and he's sharp. And yeah, I thought he was gonna give Nate a lot more trouble than what he was. So credit to Nate.
Awesome. And finally, let's just talk about your division, man. Who do you think Volkanovski should fight next?
Who is next in line? So he just beat Yair. I
Like,
know they really that Taporia
yeah,
matchup.
right, right,
Yeah,
right.
that'll be a good one. I'd really be interested to see him versus Taporia for sure. Yeah, yeah, him and Taporia I think would be the one that makes the most sense.
Are you impressed with Taporia? Like, it's crazy, man. Like most people think because he's knocking everybody down, he has good hands. Like he's come from a striking, but dude's a grappler, man, and he's learned striking the last few years. Like,
Yeah. Oh no, that's right. I didn't know he just learned striking in the last few years. Yeah, he definitely looks like a lifelong striker. But I've seen like his ground game is super legit too. He's a black belt. He's super well rounded for sure. But I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. That's a matchup I'd like to get at some point once I work my way up the ladder for sure. I seen we have a similar opponent. He fought Yusuf Zalal, and I remember watching that fight back when I was preparing for Yusuf. Yusuf was giving him problems in the third round. In the third round, Taporia started to slow down, and Yusuf's length started to give him problems. So I feel like my length would definitely give him problems.
gotcha. And finally, you talk about you're very aware of your division, the prospects and stuff. Like, who are some prospects that you have your eyes on that are impressive to you that maybe you'd like to fight, maybe you wouldn't like to fight? Like, who are some guys that you're really keeping your eye on?
Well, I mean, yeah, I've already said I want that Melsick matchup for sure. Other guys in my division, let me think. I know, yeah, I want that Melsick matchup. I'd like that Mike Trizano fight just because I want on that card real bad. Shit, I mean, I already fought him, but I'm excited to see what Dennis does in the future. I feel like he's going to be a problem for a lot of guys, 100%. And shit, off the top of my head, man, upcoming prospects. I don't really look at guys in my division as like upcoming prospects. Like, I consider because that's what I consider in myself. I
Right.
look at guys like, guys who I want to fight. And the guys who I want to fight are all, like ahead of me, or like, so yeah, upcoming prospects in my division behind me, I can't really think off the top of my head, man, to be honest.
What do you think of Diego Lopez?
Oh, now that see now that you said that name, that dude is super good, super good. Yeah, that I talked. He's a cool dude too. I talked to him at the hotel. He seems super friendly, super nice. We both got the same manager and stuff. And yeah, so there you go. He's a prospect for sure. First fight in the UFC gave most of our however you say his name
Oh,
problem.
yeah.
Yeah,
Elliot or something.
hell of a performance for his debut, like giving a top 10 guy damn near beating him, and then to your sophomore outing, second fight, to hit that flying triangle armbar. Yeah, that dude's dangerous. I'm looking forward to see what he does in the future for sure.
Awesome, man. Awesome, Sean. And finally, last thing, we'll let you go. How'd you celebrate this win? Are you taking a few days off to kind of enjoy yourself, or is it right back to the fucking gym?
So I already jumped back in the gym. I'm doing strength conditioning sessions, but I'm taking a little time off from my MMA training and, like, getting in there and scrapping or doing any hard grappling and stuff like that. Because like I said, I got just a few small bumps and bruises that I want to let fully heal up and stuff. But you already know how I was celebrating, man, with some food, dog, some food. I don't alcohol and drinking and partying ain't my scene. I celebrate with food. So right after the fight, my girl and my coaches ladies, they shot out of the venue right away and went and stood in line at Hattie B's Chicken in Nashville. It's supposed to be like one of the most popping chicken spots there. We were walking by there all fight week, and the line was wrapped around the building every time. So yeah, the ladies, they went there and stood in line for like an hour and got us all food, and we met them back at the hotel. And yeah, we just had a feast in my hotel room. I ate some chicken and waffles, some macaroni and cheese, some grits, some banana pudding, ton of stuff, dude. Ate myself sick, and then after I got my stuff together, we went downtown Nashville, walked around, and went people watching. Was watching all the drunk people frolic around and act crazy, and I bought some souvenirs, and yeah, then came back and called it a night, man.
Awesome, bro. Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on your win, man. I want you. I think the sport's better when you're active, man, and you're a fun fighter to watch, man. So I really hope you stay active.
Thank
Yeah, you get that fight in November or December, and then we see you do work again, man. Sean, thank you again for your time. If you want to plug your social media, any sponsors you might have, and if you want to thank anybody, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, like, I'm just to touch on that being active part. I'm gonna do everything in my power to be active. I'm gonna stay in the gym, keep training. I'm gonna keep my weight down. I'm gonna stay on my manager's phone all every day. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna get back in there by the end of the year. At least I hope so. Like I said, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make that happen. But yeah, as far as shout outs, just my team here in St. Louis, Woodson Training Center, my guy Matt Owen, Horsepower and Barbells at Project Deliverance. Those are my two teams. Those who will get me ready for each and every fight. And then on social media, the only thing I really work for real is Instagram. So STL Sniper 314. You can follow me on Threads too. It's the same thing. That new app, had got to shout that out. But yeah, Instagram, STL Sniper, and that's about it, bro.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.